Hi, my name is Emily Randall, and I am reporting on my internship from the Upper Valley Child Advocacy Center. For those that don't know what an advocacy center is, it is a facility that does both interviewing and advocacy for children who have experienced abuse. I found and arranged my internship when I was in Brother Tim Werrick at BYU Idaho's Child and Family Advocacy class. During that class, we went on a field trip to visit several local nonprofits and other places that represent and facilitate advocacy in some way for children and family. And usually we go to Utah and attend a conference and get to meet a bunch of people from a bunch of different places. However, because of COVID-19, we were not able to do that and ended up doing just local places instead, which actually ended up being really good for me. When we got to the advocacy center, we walked in and were immediately greeted by the interviewer, Kimber. And from the beginning of my experience there to the end with the class and the field trip, I was really impressed by just the intentionality that goes into child advocacy centers. And I knew that that was something I wanted to be a part of. I was so impressed by everything that they do and the difference that they're able to make. Once I got a hold of them and secured the internship, I had a lot of responsibilities, the main one being Safer, Smarter Kids. Safer, Smarter Kids is the prevention program that we teach. It's created by someone who experienced abuse themselves named Lauren, and she and her dog named Buddy teach children ages kindergarten through 6th grade about child abuse in age-appropriate ways. They learn how to say, stop, that's not safe, and how to tell adults no, and how to report things that are inappropriate that happen to them. And for my internship, we only taught ages kindergarten through 3rd grade. And we only taught at one school because of COVID-19. Usually there's 2 or 3 schools. And that was a really awesome experience. I learned a lot about the importance of prevention. And I did not personally experience this, but some of my coworkers and other interns experienced children disclosing things that had happened to them because of this course. So it's really important, and I'm grateful I had the chance to do it. Next, I got to shadow cases. That and the next 4 go together. So as I shadow cases, I learned what a third was. The third is the person during a case that sits downstairs and they make the family feel comfortable upon arrival, but they don't talk to them or engage them in any way. It's important that the interviewer is the first one to make contact with the child so that they are able to build up rapport and are able to build trust with them so that they will be willing to disclose. So as a third, you bring the family in and you give them paperwork and have them fill that out while they wait for the time to interview and for the parents to go talk with the advocate. So the advocate is the middleman for a variety of people on the MDT, which is the multidisciplinary team. The MDT includes people like law enforcement, CPS, health and welfare, medical team, and even counselors if there is a counselor already decided on. So the advocate will help the family find resources, and they will help them walk through the court process as well as keep them informed about the case even after it's over, with things such as when their abuser is out of prison, if they're convicted, and things like that. So we shadowed cases as well as we were able to be the third on our own. We did not have the opportunity to watch any children disclose for obvious reasons. That's very personal, and we try to keep that confidential as well as keep as few people in that experience as possible so that the child can have their privacy. Besides that, I worked on a few other projects. Those are usually based on the strengths of the intern. I was able to make phone calls to different counseling agencies and try to recruit them as contracted counselors so that we can refer our clients to them regularly. There was a lot that went into that. I had to find out about very specific types of trauma training and what was and was not required for our accreditation requirements. Besides that, I did some Excel projects like logging all of the passwords into one place. And I did a research project where I researched the benefits of forensic interviewing as well as success. And I am currently working still on compiling all of that, printing it, and getting it back to the CAC. That's a project that I'm going to take on with me, even though my internship is over, because it was extremely interesting for me. We also did a few tasks that were not as related to the day-to-day of the internship, such as the ribbons of hope and the Easter egg hunt. Those were projects and things that the CAC did during the time we were there that were to help the community in some way. So ribbons of hope was, we cut 3,000 ribbons to have community members write on in order to help make a statement about Child Abuse Month, which is the month of April. So we're going to hang those ribbons around the community so that people will be reminded of that. We also helped with an Easter egg hunt for children. And so we called, got donations, collected the donations, and stuffed all of the eggs for that as well. And we were responsible again for 3,000 eggs. So me and the other interns did that, and that was a fun experience and helped me to realize everything that goes behind those experiences and those nonprofit experiences or the things that they put on. And so that was eye-opening for me as well. I was able to benefit the Child Advocacy Center through my internship because I have the skills of attention to detail. That's something that sometimes has to be put on the back burner as a CAC because of the chaotic nature that comes with working with child abuse. We don't get to decide when and where a child will be abused. We just decide when or how and what how we're going to handle it. So we often have last minute cases and it's just chaotic. And so I was able to kind of take care of those attention to detail things while the other people of the CAC were able to work on the cases and the paperwork. I also did a lot of odd jobs, taking out garbage and cleaning up, again with the attention to detail and helping behind the scenes a little bit. Me and the other interns were also able to help during accreditation week with, again, those odd jobs and attention to detail. With everything going on, there were several cases, as well as trying to get everything ready for accreditation. We were able to help with some of the smaller things like replacing fire extinguishers and changing batteries in and putting up the smoke detectors and fire alarms. I also was able to help by putting in extra hours and being able to help in every way possible as much as I could. I benefited personally from the experience as well. I gained increased independence and confidence in my abilities to be a professional as well as to just as a person. I learned a lot about myself through my time there, and I'm really grateful for it. I also learned to improve my task management and be able to jump from thing to thing as soon as necessary because, like I said before, it can be kind of chaotic working at a CAC. I also learned skills in collaboration. There's always last minute things that need to be done. There has to be a lot of communication between you and the rest of the team in order to make sure that everything runs smoothly. I also learned a lot about the CACs, and I learned a lot about my opportunities to work at a CAC if I want to in the future. A few classes that connected with my internship were family community relations and child and family advocacy. Family community relations was a class that at first I was a little hesitant about. I wasn't as excited about it. However, I learned a lot about the importance of nonprofits in the communities, as well as the importance of volunteering your time and giving donations. I didn't fully understand this class until after it was over and I worked at the CAC. Seeing the donations that came in was overwhelming. There were so many people that we're just extremely generous, and we are rarely without something that we need because the people of the community are so great, and they are always willing to do their best to fill our needs and to get things for us if we need them. I also got to see the way that society benefits the Advocacy Center as well as the Advocacy Center benefits society. It's kind of cool to see everyone come together to protect these children, from law enforcement to detectives to the advocates and the interviewers that work at the CAC to everyone else on the MDT. There's a lot of community members that come together to make this happen. And that benefits society, and the people of society benefit the CAC as well. Like I said, child and family advocacy is the reason that I chose this internship. So that definitely influenced my time there. The advocates are definitely doing everything that was taught in that class. There are so many good principles of advocacy, such as empathy, listening to understand, knowing the rights of the family, and standing up for those rights, as well as supporting the family through the entire process. Those are all things I learned in that class that were put to action at the CAC. And there's something that I want to become and that I would love to apply in my future work and just life. Would I recommend this site or experience to other students? Absolutely. I feel like there's so much that can be learned even outside of the secular. There's a lot you learn about yourself. There's a lot you learn about family and what you want in the future for your family. I learned a lot about things that I will and will not want to enforce in my own home one day, and things that I will and will not accept. And so overall, it's a great learning experience and opportunity, and it also opens a lot of doors for the future and future work at CACs. So if that's something you're interested in, I would absolutely reach out to them. And here's the contact information for them. I'll also have this information linked below the video so that you can find it and contact them. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I am so grateful for the opportunity I've had to work here.